Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome back to the channel. So the Flight Simulator Expo in Las Vegas is over for another year, and there's been so many exciting announcements over the last few days that it's been quite difficult, to be fair, to keep track of every single one of them. But fear not, we will be bringing you the highlights from FSExpo here on the channel in the next couple of days. However, in this video today we are going to be talking about one of the main things that lots of you were looking forward to, and that was information regarding the next iteration of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So in this quick update video, we're going to be giving you all the highlights and best bits and things to look forward to come November the 19th when it's going to be released. And I would love to hear what you guys think on each of the announcements made by Asobo and the team, so please do leave comments down below. I really do enjoy reading those and seeing what features you are looking forward to the most and what features you're hoping to experience. Now, if you were like me, you were probably a little bit shocked when Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024's announcement came, because really we weren't expecting it. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was a complete shock when this arrived, and I've been more than happy with it, to be perfectly honest, but maybe that's because I grew up playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 95, 98 and FSX. Of course, the difference between those two simulators is night and day. So when the announcement about 2024 came, many of you, quite understandably, were a little bit annoyed because Flight Sim 2020 still had plenty of bugs to be solved, and it looked as though Asobo were moving away from supporting this and just focusing their attentions on a new simulator. Well, one of the first things that the team announced was that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 will still be supported long into the future. Originally, the plan for 2020 was to run the simulator for 8 years, and currently it stands that they've got 15 million users flying on Flight Simulator 2020. Now, I would imagine that not all of those would make the jump to 2024 straight away, so this sim is probably going to have something very special about it to get people to upgrade. Remember, it is a brand new simulator. It's not simply just an upgrade, so it is going to come at a fair cost. So let's have a look at what was announced by Asobo and the Microsoft team for what's coming in Flight Sim 2024. Now, from a graphics standpoint, the big thing is the ground textures. This is a real photo of somewhere presumably in the USA, and let's have a look what that looks like in Microsoft Flight Simulator as it stands. So as you can see, the ground textures are pretty much 2D with a few 3D bushes and shrubs lying around. Now let's bring that into Flight Simulator 2024, and suddenly all the ground textures now are no longer 2D. Yes, all the ground textures in the new simulator will be 3D, and as you can see from this image, it looks far more realistic. The water bank lined with rocks, the vegetation much more realistic for the part of the world that it's in, and that is something else they announced. There's over 30 different biomes around the world, adding lots of variety to the vegetation that you're going to see. The fact that the ground is now 3D means that if you are a bush pilot, you need to be careful where you're going to land, because you could quite easily hit a rock, a bump, and that's going to obviously spoil your aircraft. Now, we've seen lots of different gameplay styles from the trailers that we've seen online, and one of the worries from many people was that it was going to be more game focused than it was simulator focused. Well, the team have addressed this issue as well this weekend, and what they have said is that there is going to be much more of a focus on airliner flying in this rather than just missions that we've seen in the trailer. And that brings us to one of the biggest shock announcements from this weekend, and that is that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 will ship with a default Boeing 737 MAX. Of course, the 737 was missed by millions when Flight Sim 2020 was released and only the A320 was featured. Now, this aircraft is a default Asobo aircraft. It's not being built by any third parties, so quite how in-depth the simulations and systems will be, time will tell. But the team have said that this is probably their most sophisticated default aircraft to date. Let me know what you think about this inclusion in the comments down below. Now, we've already heard that the A330 will also be included in Microsoft Flight Sim 24, and this has now been confirmed that it is being built by Inibuild, and both the A330-200 and 300 series will be available. And with this focus on realistic airliner flying, the career mode that is going to be available actually does use apparently a licensing system. So perhaps this means we've got to work our way up from the bottom with the PPL, the ATPL, and carrying on all the way to see if you can reach the rank of maybe a trainer captain. They've also confirmed as well that outside checks will need to be completed, which means that yes, you're going to have to make sure that the pitos are not covered, and you can even remove the engine covers too should your aircraft spawn in with them. Now, one of the biggest discussions that people have in the world of flight simulation is which is better, Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane. I don't want to go down that route, but X-Plane has always been touted as better for flight dynamics. Well, Asobo and Microsoft have said this weekend that they are creating much better flight dynamics available to developers who then go and create add-on aircraft. In fact, just as an example, they are now saying that wake turbulence and the air that surrounds your aircraft will stay in place and be simulated for a period of around 6 minutes. So if a heavy aircraft departs ahead of you and you're in a little Cessna, you're probably going to want to think about that. So moving on to the part of the video now where we're looking at the new partners that Asobo have joined forces with lots of add-on developers who have created loads of products for us since Flight Sim 2020 was released. And this begs the question, is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 moving away from needing lots of mods to make the simulator as good as we want it? Well, I actually really hope so, because everybody would love a stock simulator that has everything it wants in it right from the word go without having to purchase add-ons. We've already seen that seasons will be included in Flight Sim 2024, which renders Rex AccuSeasons obsolete. We will have passengers walking around the terminals, down the jetways and into your aircraft, so perhaps that is GSX no longer required. The team have also worked really hard on improving the weather for the next Flight Simulator, and cirrus clouds, which have really been lacking and missing completely in Flight Sim 2020, are going to be included. So perhaps this better weather engine means people that use Active Sky may no longer need it. But looking through my community folder, there are plenty of other add-ons that I use which we may see now included by default. Looking at default handcrafted airports by Asobo that come shipped with the simulator, many of these then have been renewed and redone, and this has been done by Gear Simulations, obviously a scenery developer of very high quality. It is going to be interesting to see how the default airports look compared to the high quality payware add-ons that many of us have purchased for 2020. This too is where Asobo have confirmed that passengers will be indeed walking around the terminals, bringing those to life. Another announcement made by the team is that every oil rig in the world is apparently going to be included in the simulator. For those helicopter pilots then, this of course is great news. Loads of places around the world to explore, and usually some in treacherous conditions. Now, the team finished off their 1.5 hour presentation announcing the new partners that they have brought on board, and many of these names you'll have already heard of. They've been creating add-ons for Flight Sim 2020 since it was released. Working Title have teamed up now with Asobo, and you'll know them from being the company that provide avionics updates. They've now brought them in, got them on board, so hopefully we'll get high quality avionics in our default aircraft right from the get-go. For those of you that enjoyed the Reno Air Races in Flight Sim 2020, a company called Climax have now joined with Microsoft and Asobo, and they are known for creating racing simulations, so that is going to be a big part of Flight Sim 2024, with new venues added as well for the Reno Air Races. Now, something that has been lacking since Flight Sim 2020 was released was a good replay system. Many people turn to the freeware add-on Skydolly, which I use here on the channel, but there were also payware mods available. One such was called Flight Control Replay. Well, they have now joined with Asobo and Microsoft, and they will be providing the default replay system for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This isn't just a replay mod though, it does things like different camera angles, it even adds ghost planes so it can look like you're flying in formation with other aircraft, and a whole host of other neat little features. But this will now be default in Flight Sim 2024. Now, it was announced some time back that Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 would have ship traffic and vessels all around the globe also included. Well, the developer of the popular freeware app Global AI Ship Traffic has joined forces with Asobo. They've brought him on board, and this is where Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is going to get all its sea-going vessels from. So the world will now be covered in maritime traffic, and as I say, originally a freeware app, so this is nice to see it included by default in the future simulator. Another popular freeware developer, Puffin Flight, who are known for the We Love VFR add-ons, has also been brought on board by Asobo, and they are going to be responsible for creating lots of towers, turbines, cooling towers, masts, all these things that VFR pilots use to navigate. So we can expect to see lots more of those around the globe, courtesy of Puffin Flight joining forces with Microsoft. So I think it's great to hear that these freeware developers that have given so much to us, the Flight Simulator community, have now been brought on board officially by Microsoft and Asobo to help develop the next incarnation of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new information released by Asobo at the Expo, and is there any add-on that you currently can't really do without but would love to see included by default in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? Please do let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, of course, we have our special 10% discount code on screen now, and this is for anything you purchase from the Contrail store. Obviously, the more you purchase, the more you save. It is a one-time use only code, so use it wisely, but great way to save some money when picking up some awesome add-ons for the simulator. You can also support us as well through our official channel partner Inibills when purchasing any of their amazing scenery and aircraft for the sim, again with the link in the video description down below. But ultimately, I would love to hear your thoughts on Flight Sim 2024 and what we've learned from the Expo. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video and it's covered lots of the main things to look forward to as we head towards November the 19th. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to leave a like. And of course, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any future videos and of course, our live stream flights. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye bye for now.